I love being able to tell a story, and I know that's, very basic, but I love being able to bring the visuals and the audio and write a story that really tells people what's going on. Being able to give voices to people that may not have one. For example, with the small town. It just, for people that perhaps don't have the means to travel and people that aren't really able to watch the news, I really like the idea of being able to bring something to their phone in the future, to be able to just show them what sort of fascinating things are out there that they would overlook. I'm Jarrett Smith. My major is mass communications and journalism with an emphasis in broadcast/multiplatform journalism. From Lompoc, California. I went to Cabrillo High School, the local one next to my house, from freshman year to junior year, but then I transferred to Valley Christian Academy and graduated there in 2018. That's in Santa Maria, California. So I went to the local community college, Allen Hancock College, straight after graduation. I went there for 2 years, the standard amount of time. Graduated with my associates, but during my last semester of junior college is when the COVID pandemic happened. I was supposed to go to St. Cloud State in Minnesota in the fall of 2020. However, I could tell that it was just going to be online education, and I thought to myself, do I really want to move to Minnesota, or am I really just going to stay home and attend a college, just be learning through a screen? I really didn't like the idea of that. So from then on, I worked out in the forest with Los Padres Forest Association back home. I was traveling around and doing trail work, whether it was brushing or it was tread repair on the trails, clearing fallen trees, even some construction. And that was really fantastic time, but I felt myself slipping away and school was becoming an afterthought. I was getting really comfortable with the working life. And then I thought to myself, I better get back to school before it's too late. So I ended up coming here to Fresno State, somewhere that is somewhat close to home, but still some distance. Had some friends already going to school here, and I did my research and saw they had a very nice broadcast journalism program. I absolutely would like to get on with a news station. I'm fascinated with weather, so I'd like to become a meteorologist and just be able to talk about the weather with people. But I also like traveling the state quite a bit. And something I watched when I was growing up as a kid was Hillhauser's California Gold. And it was very formative to me. And that, along with working in the forest, made me really appreciate California and all the diverse landscapes that this state has to offer. I'd like to travel around California and kind of revamp his program and be able to display California's beauty and also some perhaps less traveled places and talk about the history of the place and the significance. I got a pretty packed schedule. I work at the bowling alley here on campus. When I'm not in class, my days consist of being in the back during the busy PE classes and group reservations, making sure the machines are working well, and if they break down, repairing them on the fly. Also, I'm on the bowling team here. So I've been on the bowling team since fall of 2022. Worked my way from walking on to being on the JV squad to being on the varsity squad. And then beyond that, when I go back home, I definitely like to help out in the forest with my old job. Because it's so limited time, it's on a volunteer basis as opposed to being paid like it used to be. But I absolutely love being in the wilderness and being a steward for the trails, to be able to let people enjoy the forest as much as I do. Well, I had the time of my life being able to cover one of the football games last fall for Fresno State Focus, and I was able to record a fantastic touchdown catch in the corner of the end zone, so just alone having that clip was fantastic. But then we did a stand-up after the game on the field, so getting to stand on the field was awesome. And just the whole experience, seeing it from the field, looking up at the stands as opposed to being in the stands looking down at the field. I've received the Roger Tatarian Scholarship, and I have received the Middle Class Scholarship, and then also Pell Grants. But my scholarship list is actually quite short because I wasn't able to use FAFSA funding for most of my college until this academic year. But I'm very thankful very thankful that I was able to receive those. I'd like to thank all the faculty, staff, and professors in MCJ, specifically Faith Sidlow and Kim Stevens, because they have just driven me ahead. Like I talked about, there's been so many times that I've been demoralized and didn't think college was for me. So talked to Kim on the phone, and she reassured me that everything would be okay. Didn't necessarily persuade me to go back to school, but she said it's okay if you don't. But just lending an ear to me went in a time where I really needed it. And Faith also being available for Zoom calls to talk through all sorts of things, because there's a lot of times where I thought that I was signing up for the right classes, and boy was I wrong. So she was always there to steer me in the right direction, and also just a huge cheerleader for me. And their support has certainly carried me across the finish line, and I wouldn't be here without them.